box in a box. Is that what we got here? All stickers. Here's your gasket maker. So for those of you on the podcast, this is a gasket maker that we've got here, a Permatex. It's basically, you know, your gasket. It's a liquid gasket. It's not a, you know, like a Felco gasket or anything like that. So it's just this liquid gasket here. And on the video, we'll show you guys actually how to actually do this, because there's kind of some specific instructions how to install this. But like I said, that'll be in the install video. Packaging peanuts. I hate packaging peanuts, dude. Oh my God. Anything else in here? Any presents? Nothing? Nothing? Okay. Oh, Eric almost dropped the brand new box on the ground. All right, so here is your part number for DMAXStore. The part number is DMAX-OP-0110. Ooh. So right out of the box here, we've got a big, if you don't know, you can look it up online. You've got a big D on there with the star, their classic DMAXStore logo. It's got nice cooling fins. They're not really deep cooling fins. The PPE one, I know, has much deeper cooling fins, but these ones are a little bit more shallow, but they are at least cooling fins on the base of this pan. All right, so right out of the box, this is a Fumoto drain. Straight out is open, and then you can push it down and you turn it, and that's closed. It's a really, really cool concept. It makes oil changes a lot easier. It's just a great concept. So in the box here, we've got new bolts. So keep that in mind when you're taking your old ones out. And these are Allen bolts, which is really, really nice. We'll set these aside. Comes with the instruction manual. And then I do want to point out right away, you guys, for those that are watching this video or even just listening to it, you do have to take your old oil sensor out of your old oil pan and put it in your new one. I did not opt to order a new one. I don't remember if it was an option or not, but I did not opt to order a new one of those sensors. So the new instructions it comes with for the pan, it comes with a torque sequence to go ahead and do. You know, it goes, let's see here, it goes say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, yada, 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 so on and so forth. So keep that in mind when you're installing these. There's a specific torque sequence that you are going to go through when you do that. It is very important. Again, here is step 3, apply the 2 to 3 millimeter wide bead of sealant across the sealing surface of the DMAXStore oil pan with the RTV gasket maker sealant or GMS silicone equivalent is recommended. So you're going to apply it first, and then you're going to put it up in there. Now, one of the biggest differences with these oil pans is really seriously the pure fact that there is no dip to this, and it is almost, you could say, graded to the drain. So you're not going to have any oil left over like you do here with the stock factory one that I'm showing on the video right now. This is a stock one. You always will have oil left over because there's a little divot, if Eric can lift it up for me. You see here, there's that little divot right there on the bottom of it, and that oil will never come out of there. So you got to understand that is one of the key factors of getting this new oil pan. Another key important thing to note is when you upgrade to, say, this DMAXStore one, and I do believe the PPE one is the same, is this now is no longer a 10-quart oil change. You guys need to understand that. This is now an 11-quart oil change. Your new deeper pan, you could say, adds an additional quart of oil for your truck, not only extending your life of your intervals in between your oil, but also giving that little peace of mind that we all like to have. If you go over a little bit of your, say, your suggested amount of 5,000, 6,000 miles, you do have a little bit extra oil in there, a little extra cooling of lifetime that you do get with that now. I will have to look up what they recommend for a lifetime of oil change now. I typically do 5,000, 6,000. Maybe we could do safely 8,000 to 10,000 with the new oil pan. But when it comes down to it, the key benefits that you're going to get with this DMAXStore oil pan is really, you've got now 13 cooling fans on the back side. You add that 1 extra quart of oil, making it an 11-quart oil change, extending your oil change intervals. You're also going to have that Fumoto drain, which DMAXStore's Fumoto drain is actually an oversized Fumoto drain. I think their website says it's like 65% bigger or something like that. So your oil interval to your oil changes are gonna go much faster, and that is huge when you're doing these and when you're on top of doing your oil changes. Not only that, but you can also stick a hose like a clear hose or a rubber hose on the back of that Fumoto drain and help with your oil changes a lot better, especially for those guys that are in their driveways like me at my house when I'm not here at Eric's shop. I can do, you know, my oil changes on the ground. They're kind of, you know, kind of a pain in the ass. We all know they're kind of a pain in the ass. So that Fumoto drain also makes it a lot easier when it comes down to that. It's a very nice option. You can buy these on DMAXStore and add them to your current oil pans. They do adapt to the current stock factory oil pans, so keep that in mind if maybe that's an upgrade you want to do for your oil pan. But the biggest thing is that hump. GM calls it a hump, right? It's a hump that is in the backside of that oil pan that keeps a lot of oil. It keeps that dirt and that grime in there that you don't want when you're doing oil changes, because you want to clean out as much oil as you can when you're doing a fresh oil change. And these aftermarket oil pans that you get from DMAXStore absolutely cover that in a great way. It's an outstanding oil pan. I'm happy with the construction. It's very sound, it's very solid. I will say when you add that RTV silicone or that gasket maker, when you add it, you install this, you torque it down to what you need to torque it down to. You need to wait about, 5 hours of minimum, 24 hours at the most until you add your oil into it. So keep that in mind, as well as you will have to change your oil sensor over to the new one also. So keep that in mind, whether you're listening to this on the podcast, geez, got kind of rapped a little bit there. Beatboxing. You guys
do everything.
Easy.
Everything.
Easy. When you, oh shit, where is it? Oh yeah, if you're listening on the podcast, just keep in mind, you know, you got to change out over your oil sensor. Order a new one if you want to. We're not going to order a new one. You don't really need to. It's not really an issue that kind of comes up with these trucks. So keep that in mind. And let's go ahead. There's really not much more to talk about, you guys. It's a great oil pan. It's a great option. I got it for what, $260, I think, before tax. And then you add the silicone, which is an additional, I think, that gasket maker here, which I think was an additional $10, $9.99 or something like that. So really good price, really good option, great upgrade for your truck. You extend your oil change intervals. So you talking about oil change intervals, you can really extend these oil changes, you guys, especially if you start adding an additive like TBN booster, or in a new one we just found out about called Oil Extreme, which I am going to try out for you guys in the future. So stay tuned for that. It's going to be pretty interesting. And then add the 11 quart oil. You can really start to get your oil change intervals to that 10 to 15,000 mile mark, which is huge for a lot of guys that not only do a lot of driving in their trucks, but also have a lot of things going on in their life. So this is a great oil pan, you guys. I am just very excited about it. It is a great option. It is robust, man. Like, this thing is beastly. It is gonna add a little weight, so keep that in mind. Not that that really matters to any of us. So this is a 2001 to 2010 option. They say that on here. Again, the part number is DMAX-OP-1 or -0110. That is the part number. I'll show the guys on the screen for you guys right now. Again, that Fumoto drain is just an awesome option right here. It is, I'm really excited about that, you guys. Here you can see on the side right next to the Fumoto drain is where your oil sensor is gonna be that we took off in the install video, again, which I'll link below in this video. And then here is where your oil pressure sensor will mount to. And we're gonna go ahead and take care of this now. Get this thing installed. I hope you enjoyed this podcast. I hope you enjoyed this little unboxing on the YouTube channel. It's a great product. It's a great price realistically for what you're gaining in this. I would highly suggest this to anybody. I really would. I plan to do it on both of my trucks. I haven't done it yet because my gasket hasn't leaked. The reason why we're doing it on Eric's truck, the Paperweight Duramax, is because the gasket leaked on his old one here. And you can kind of see it here. For those that are watching, you can see it's kind of all over there. So if your oil pan looks like this, I would suggest not just replacing your gasket because you're dropping it anyways. Just drop the old oil pan, get rid of this thing. It is junk. It is a factory defect. So why would you, right, Eric, why would you install something back in when you already know there's a factory defect involved? You just wouldn't do it.
No,
you know,
I wouldn't worry about it.
So get rid of it. Get a new one, get an aftermarket one. I suggest the DuramaXStore one. They shipped it out to me. I mean, it was like a week they got it out to me. They awesome people over there at DMAXStore. So again, like I said, I hope you enjoyed this kind of unboxing. There's not too much to unbox for you guys, but again, it was very fun. I suggest it to all of you guys. I will link it below for you. I'm not affiliated with them, so don't think that I'm, getting you guys to buy DMAXStore stuff because I'm affiliated with them. no benefit at all like that. I just really like that they got great return service, like not return service, but customer service. I've dealt really well with them. You know, the parts I've ordered from them have been robust. They've been great parts, whether they're their parts or somebody else's parts. They get them shipped out well and fast and in a timely manner. So that being said, we're gonna go ahead and end this video, end this podcast, and stay tuned for the install video. Head over to YouTube to watch the channel. Head over to, I'll link that below for those of you that are watching this right now. I will link that below for you guys so you can watch that install on this. It's a really good install. It's really informative. We do step by step, and it's really not too terrible, you guys. So, like I said, I hope you guys enjoyed it. Make sure you guys like this video, subscribe to the channel, please. I thank you so much for all the support. Make sure you follow the podcast, give a good rating on that podcast if you enjoyed my podcast. And we'll see you guys in the next video and the next podcast.